Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another weekly dose of aviation. It's time for the final episode of this year. These are the best aviation videos of 2020 from my series Weekly Dose of Aviation. Enjoy! This plane in Serbia almost took off too late but managed to take off in the last second. This Boeing 747 getting blown up to test what a bomb might do to the plane. The 4 test bombs exploded at the same time and almost split the giant plane in two. This plane went off the runway after landing due to a broken spring in the tailwheel, causing the steering to not work. This plane doing an emergency landing on a highway in Minnesota. As you can see, the plane crashed into a car that was driving down the highway, but luckily no one was injured. This instructor and his student flying a glider almost crashed into the terrain after flying through a cloud with no visibility.
Oh, there we go. I got it. Alright, oh shit, spin. Nose down! I have control!
Luckily, they managed to avoid it and could fly away. These guys were flying as usual when they received flight following alerts of a plane chasing them down. The plane chasing them easily caught up and attempted to fly in a formation with them. They had no contact with the plane chasing them and were trying to take evasive action. After reporting the incident, they found out that the pilot had been attempting to fly in a formation with a different plane that looked similar, and the pilot who chased them apologized. This Boeing 747 caught on fire at an airport in Spain. The plane was retired and was parked at the airport without any people in it, so luckily no one was injured. This woman used the emergency exit and stepped out on the plane wing after landing in Ukraine and explained that she was feeling too hot. Emergency services later arrived and the woman got banned from the airline. The 747 flying really low and dropping fire retardant. The 747 flying in formation with the red arrows during an airshow. The 787 landing at Heathrow tried to land in a storm but had to do a touch and go after a failed attempt.
Oh my god.
This plane doing a low pass.
Oh shit.
This plane landed without landing gear due to the pilot forgetting to deploy it before landing, even though the alarm was sounding. The Cessna trying to land in a really strong crosswind.
Catch the 10 knot here.
He's gonna get home Midas here any second.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Stay on the runway. Oh.
Ditches are for the right thing.
This fighter jet touched down in the grass just short of the runway as a result of landing too early. This plane lost its baggage compartment door, causing the pilot to lose control, which forced him to land in a nearby field. This plane landing on snow without landing gear. This airport called Pinal Air Park is like a parking lot for planes. This plane was coming in for a landing when a car didn't stop for the stop sign and ended up hitting the plane. This plane's jet blast caused the hangar to flip over, but luckily no one was injured.
I got that! I got it on camera! Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh shit!
This plane flying sideways. These paratroopers jumping out of planes together as part of an exercise. This plane in Russia couldn't move because it was too cold, so the passengers got out and pushed it back manually. This A-10 shooting flares. These passenger planes flying really close to each other. This plane landing in Japan got turned sideways just before touching down due to strong winds. These fighter jet pilots flying in formation. This helicopter pilot rehearsing a movie stunt by dropping troops on top of 2 cars. This plane taking off from a trailer with help of a car. This medical helicopter crashed while landing on a hospital roof in Los Angeles.
Oh my god.
The helicopter was carrying a heart, but the heart was still in a good condition after the crash and was delivered to the patient in time for surgery. Luckily, no one was injured. These people were driving on the highway when a plane landed right next to them.
Wow. Dit is echt gewoon gaaf.
These US military helicopters flying over a stadium before a sports event. This plane took off really close to the person holding the camera. These guys flying their parachute really close to a crane.
Wow. Yo. Okay. Okay.
This plane flew in such a way that gravity ceased to exist for a few seconds. This plane, flying with a banner, lost power just off the coast of Florida and ended up having to land in the water. Luckily, no one was injured.
He's off his flag. Shit fixed to happen.
This bird got a free ride while sitting on a plane. This fighter jet had to abort its landing and almost struck the aircraft carrier after the pilot realized that he wouldn't be able to stop. This F-18 doing a low pass at a very high speed over a beach. This helicopter passing a car.
Copy that, stopping.
This plane lost one of its wheels after takeoff and had to make an emergency landing. Luckily, no one was injured.
Fucking well done.
Oh, well done. Oh, no. Pretty good, man.
This jet bridge caught on fire, but luckily no one was injured. This helicopter can fit up to 50 troops, as these guys demonstrated.
이어서 왼쪽입니다.
This plane dropping cargo, seen from the cargo's point of view. This FedEx plane overran the runway while landing during a cyclone in Mumbai and also had a compressor stall from ingesting too much water. Luckily, the plane came to a stop and no one was injured.
FedEx वाले
अबे क्या हो रहा है
खतरनाक है
ये क्या हो रहा है पर
अरे वो FedEx का
This guy got blown away by the jet blast by standing behind a jet as it was taking off. This fire suppression system went off in a hangar with planes, covering them in foam. This plane was taking off but had to abort its takeoff. This was done too late, causing the plane to overrun the runway. Luckily, no one was injured and the plane came to a stop. This plane bounced down the runway, causing the landing gear to break.
Fuck it.
The Cessna braked too hard, causing it to flip over after landing.
Bugger.
This helicopter did a tower flyby at the biggest airport in Sweden.
Så ska det låta.
Fan vad coolt. Göra så här egentligen.
Why not?
This plane's landing gear failed while it was landing. This guy was skydiving when his parachute failed and he had to land in a parking lot.
I'm fine, yeah, I'm just... Sorry.
This plane was on final approach when they noticed another plane on the runway, causing them to go around.
Somebody on stage.
This person was driving on the highway when 4 firefighting planes started dropping water right next to it. These planes were both approaching the airport at the same time and didn't notice each other, leading to them almost colliding. This woman climbed out on the wing of a glider and jumped down with a parachute. This is what happens if you drop the water from a 747 Supertanker while still on the ground. This guy was flying with his instructor when they almost collided with a jet, but luckily the instructor managed to avoid the jet and no one was injured. This is how being catapulted off an aircraft carrier looks from the cockpit. This guy was driving on a highway when a helicopter flew by and dropped water to put out a fire really close to the cars. This plane was flying really low and almost collided with a car, but luckily they just missed each other.
Holy!
This guy wasn't allowed to land on the apron, so instead he landed inside a hangar. This DC-10 dropping fire retardant while doing an impressive maneuver.
And dropping straight down. Oh my gosh. Unloading so much.
This guy was holding onto a helicopter and then parachuted away. This plane taking off in really cold air, causing contrails to form immediately. These South African Airways planes flew really close to each other in formation to inaugurate the president. This private jet doing a flyby just a few feet overhead.
Ya viene volando el malparido. ¡No joda! Maldito loco, weón.
This sailboat collided with an aircraft carrier. This landing gear being lifted up by the wind due to a storm.
Okay.
This helicopter flying really close to the US Bank Tower in Los Angeles. This helicopter accidentally caught a tarpaulin in its rotors during landing. This is how you test an aircraft carrier catapult. The vehicles being launched are empty water tanks, and if you fill them with water, they can replicate the weight of different naval aircraft. This student pilot flying solo went off the runway after touching down, but luckily no one was injured. And that's it for this year. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll link all the videos I featured down below. It's been a year of ups and downs for everyone, but I'm really grateful for your guys' support, and the fact that we managed to reach 1 million subscribers, which was my goal for 2020, is amazing. So thank you guys, and of course, I'll see you guys next week as usual.